Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's January 7th. We just submitted the new version of the app to the Apple Store, the App Store, and the Google Play Store. Typically, that takes about 2 to 3 days for them to validate it, test it, and publish it. So resist the urge to download the app just yet. Huge number of changes from when we first launched it on there. And I'm going to show you some of those now. So first of all, you have more user manual than you could possibly need. It's so easy to use. We don't think you need a user manual, but here it is anyway. So the main menu, you know how that works. Plus and plus to give your opponent 15-second courtesy time. Replay your last game settings or go to the settings. The settings, might as well jump to the actual settings here. Um, Super simple. Swipe to set 15 minutes, let's say, with no increment, and let's play. So it's just swipe, set, and play. Super, super simple. Um, we've grouped them now by game types, which just makes it even a little more sweet because your backgammon preferences may be different than your chess preferences. They will be. Namely, backgammon uses delay. Chess can use delay. You can toggle that, but typically increment, not always. But backgammon is, you can use increment, but almost always delay. So let's look at that. 22 with a 12-second delay. So we have this really big, easy to see delay timer. And the difference between delay and increment, obviously, is it doesn't add any time to your clock. You just get this bonus period where you can play within that 12 seconds, and if so, it never taps into your main time. Unlike increment, which could increase your main time. Okay, you probably already know that. Oh, yeah, we haven't even shown you Byo-Yomi, I don't think. So a lot of players asked for it. Go players have their own special timing and shogi. Um, I guess it's kind of like the delays you see in backgammon. So you have the main time here, and then once you hit zero, once your main time is up, you'll go into one of blank, one of three, five, it's up to you, Byo-Yomi periods. Each one is based on that same kind of 30-second or 15-second delay. So if you can keep moving one move per 15 seconds in this example, you're never going to get out of period three. So you can finish the game at that pace. If you go over that, and you'll step into period two, and then one, and so on. So yeah, we have go Byo-Yomi time setting. If you just want straight time sudden death, you can set it to zero periods, zero Byo-Yomi time. Okay, next we go to Scrabble. Scrabble has almost zero variation. Tournament Scrabble is always played at 25 minutes main time, and it's not sudden death at zero. It goes into overtime. It's just free to go, and the clock will just count up from then on. You'll be notified that it's overtime, but it's just going to count up, and then at the end of your Scrabble game, you score that accordingly with some number of penalty points per minute you've gone over. No problem. Internet Scrabble server, people are now playing essentially blitz sort of time controls, 10-minute games with a 10-second increment, for example. That's fine, and you can swipe it to that too. There's nothing to stop you from playing other time controls, but there it is. Okay, so then the next most exciting thing is we have these sort of FIDE and USCF tournament time controls built in now. So you see that top left icon, the coffee cup casual mode? You can switch it to the trophy cup, which is tournament mode. And when you do, that bottom user interface lights up. And I don't think you've ever seen this before. I'll bet you haven't, but we're going to set complex time controls in the simplest way possible, which is set it as you would say it. So let's take the World Championship that just finished. Let's take that as an example. So it wasn't all moves in 90 minutes. It wasn't 90-minute sudden death. It was tournament directors could help me out here, but I believe it was the first 40 moves to be played in 2 hours with no increments. And then, not the rest of the moves, and then the next 20 moves would be played in 1 hour with no increments. And then the rest of the game in 30 minutes with a 30-second increment per move until the game's over. That's it. If I wasn't talking, I think you could time that out at 5 seconds to set that. You try doing that with a Chronos or DGT. No way it's going to be that fast and that easy to set. Not only to set, but even when you were sort of ready to play at this, 2 hours, and you might ask, like, what's the clock set at? How do I verify? How can I see what it's set to? If you look at the settings, it answers your question in almost plain English. 40 moves in 2 hours with no increments, and then the next period is 20 moves in 1 hour with no increments, and then the rest of the game to be played in 30 minutes with a 30-second per move increment. Okay, so that's tournament mode. And when you're in tournament mode, it insists that your phone is on airplane mode. Otherwise, a big dialog box takes over the whole screen saying we're not playing, we're not playing unless Wi-Fi is off and 4G is off and everything is off. So the phone is not a phone in tournament mode. It's strictly a chess clock per USCF, per FIDE guidelines. Casual mode, that's up to you. You can turn it on airplane mode if you want. It's not enforced. So let's switch back to casual mode. Digital and analog, I think it's already been expressed, but it's dynamic analog, so let me explain that. The clock face will spread out as much as it can. So if we're playing, let's go to Blitz chess here, or Bullet even, or something, 10-minute chess, let's say. See how much of the clock face becomes that 10 minutes, and if you change it to something else, you see how the clock face accommodates that, so that as much of the 360-degree circle as can be used for that time gets used for that time, which makes reading the difference between 5 minutes and 4 minutes and 3 minutes a lot easier, because you see here it's a lot of degrees of arc. Instead of like a traditional analog clock, your 5 minutes would all exist within that last, between the 11 and the 12 o'clock. So it'd be really hard to tell the difference between 5 minutes and 4.5 minutes. But here it's pretty visual, pretty simple, and that adapts as you play. So we call that adaptive analog. I'll switch it back to digital. I mean, for that matter, digital is also adaptive, because you have this very large typeface, very easy to see, and if you need more digits, it will give you more digits, but it will try to maximize that font size as well. Okay, that's everything about all that. Fisher Random, so great to have this utility in your pocket, but yeah, the king always lands between the two rooks, and the bishops are always guaranteed to be on opposite colors, so it's a true chess 960 position generator. So that's good for a variation on an old theme. Audio, this is all new. So this comes from Go. It's not limited to Go, but it's there because of Go. Traditionally, Byo-Yomi is counted by a tournament director, I'm imagining with a pocket watch, counting down the time until the overtime periods come. And then each overtime period, they also count down, typically 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next Byo-Yomi period. 3, 2, 1. Next Byo-Yomi period. 3, 2, 1. Game over. So it's optional if you want to turn it on. And if you do, there's languages.
Hola, mi nombre es Tempest.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Tempest.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
konnichiwa, 템페스트です.
Konnichiwa.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 템페스트입니다.
안녕하세요.
你好，我叫 Tempest.
你好.
Привет, меня зовут Tempest.
Привет. And video game bleeps if you don't want any languages. That one's just got a bunch of kind of 8-bit old school beeps. And then the countdown, this is to say, like, when should it start counting? At the fives, 4, 3, 2, 1s, at the tens? I find it, I guess this is traditional, but I find it's a little too much. Putting it to zeros, but not mute, that will
Hello, my name is Tempest.
that will announce the period changes. So if it's chess and it's just single sudden death, it'll say game over. If you're playing this kind of 3-period setup, it would announce just the period changes, like next period, game over. But that's up to you to play with. I'm guessing most people will leave it on mute, and that's totally fine. That's the default. And then, of course, there's help at your fingertips, and you can contact us at support@tempestclock.com, and we're here to help 365, 24/7. Genuine, heartfelt thank you for making this project come to life. It's been a long road, and it's gotten so sweet. The software is so dialed, and the product, I can't wait for you to have it in your hands, and we could start playing some over-the-board chess again after 2 years of playing online chess. I think I am so over Zoom. I am so over Lichess and chess.com. I want to play over the board with friends and a cup of coffee or a beer and enjoy the game we love. Okay, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.